Hey everybody, I'm getting ready to replace the starter in my Chevy, 2002 Chevy S-10 V6 4.3 Vortex. I already disconnected the battery, and I put up a short just quickly showing how I did this operation, but now I'm going to make a full video. And if you don't know it, I'm over 73. I'm doing this as a preventive maintenance test because I know the starter in it's the original, and you know this thing's like 23 years old and it's starting to not want to work right. And that's the wrench I used. It's a little old Craftsman. It's about 6 inches long, and I used that end on here, like you're seeing. This here, I first went in there with this. Of course, it wouldn't work. I got this. I thought it would, but no, it wouldn't fit. This did fit. So what did I do? Well, I'm going to simulate it here, and then I'm going to crawl under there with one arm, try to show you. But imagine you got this on there, and you got one hand holding, you know, this is like for your leverage, while your other hand is keeping that on, so the wrench doesn't slip off and hit you in the face. And you get in there, and you turn, you know, maybe I can get that, you know. This starter here, by the way, is out of from a Monte Carlo, 2002 Monte Carlo. They're different, and you just go like that. And that's how I got it. That's step one. And we're going to crawl under here. I'm going to try to show you as best as I can under here what I meant when I did this. And when I'm working on this, I'm crawling in from the front, laying on my back, looking, you know, up. I'm not coming in from the side, from under here. I see some people doing it that way. I did jack this up, and I got in here. I see people saying you can get in through here to disconnect those electric cables, wires to the starter. Well, I'm not saying you can't, but I sure can't see how. But I'm going to take a harder look at it later, and if I can, I'll show you that. But at this point, I don't think you can. All right, let me crawl under here. Got this. This is a short little thing. I'm just using this as a demo. If you're a real strong, healthy young guy, maybe you can get away with that one. But I needed something with a little more leverage, longer. Okay. Now you see up here. You see how I got that? There's that screw. You know, it's against this thing, so you have very little room to get in there. But you can get it on there with, you know, I'm right-handed, so I'd be holding this with, you know, holding it on with my left fingers, so that the wrench, like I said, doesn't fall down, hit you in the face. This one's shorter. This is, you know, I call them stubbies, and this might actually be the better route than the one that was a little bit longer. And then, where did I put that thing? Oh, here it is. So, that's what I'm showing you. And then you get up there. I'm not going to actually do it because I don't want that thing to fall and hit the phone. But you get in here, and you see, you just go and you push it, well, up against there. See that? You saw it, I hope. But it turned it. And then once you get enough turns on it, you can get in here now. You don't need, you know, it's loose enough to where now you can go like that. And I was watching a lot of people on YouTube, and they didn't show you how to do this. I saw one guy that was in there with a wrench, and he was using the open end, and he was struggling like crazy. And, you know, then they're saying once you get that one and this one off, you got to fight with this thing and twist it every which way but loose. This is how you can get that thing loose. I saw some people on YouTube, and they got things up, how to get the starter out, and they literally show you the starter like this, and then they show the starter on the workbench. Nobody's showing you. They're just pretending to show you how. And some of them got like 100,000 plus views. I didn't read the comments, or maybe I'm just not looking at them right. But this one, you actually saw me turning that thing out, and it took some strength, man. All right. Okay, we're under here. We're doing part 2, you could say. As you can see, I got the screw out, but it's not out. By the way, I had to turn this thing many times before it finally dropped down. But it did, but you can't get it any further. So I'm going to take this one out, and maybe I can manipulate this enough to get it so that one will come out, you know. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you've then watched Uncle Tony's Garage, and if he hasn't said it once, he said it 100 times or more, that they're making these vehicles so you can't work on them. You either buy it and then sell it when it starts to break, or you take it to the dealership and give them $1,000 to do this. And that's about the way it is. We're all going to be walking pretty soon. I mean, I don't know, I could go on and on. Let's wait, see what I can do, and then we'll get that part 3, I hope. Okay, part 3. By the time I get to part 5, I'll have the part numbers mixed up. But anyways, I got the 2 bolts out, 2 screws, whatever you want to call them, and they are the same length. So you don't got to sweat that. trying to remember them. And let me show you. And that's exactly what it was. You had to get the other one out to get that thing to where it would, I don't know how this is coming out. I'm crawling around on my back. All right. Yeah. So this one here, you're seeing this like opposite what it would be, but this one wouldn't drop until you drop that one. Then you could, wiggle this starter around a little bit, and she came right out. Now I'm going to come back up and get ready to try to lower this, get this thing down. I triple checked to see if I could remove the wires to the, I can't even think what you call that thing up there, that energizes the starter from, from behind the wheel, in the wheel well. And if it's doable, I sure don't see how. I put this milk crate down here to lower that on, but I think the milk crate might be too high. I'm going to go look for something else that's a little shorter, and we'll get back in here. I'm making this in several pieces, and then I'm going to have to get my kid to splice it all together into one video that will make sense, hopefully. If I don't know, I still don't know if I'm going to succeed at this. I don't even know what they charge you for one of these things, but I'm going to buy the best one they got, because I sure don't want to do this again. Well, some people are doing pretty good right now, but let me show you where I'm at here. All right, basically I've got it out, and I'll show you and tell you everything. The milk carton was good, just about the right height. Let me get a flashlight. Okay, as you can see, she's down, and after I got it done, I took brushes and I cleaned all this stuff up as good as I could. And if you're watching me, you can tell I don't wear gloves. I never got used to that. That became a new thing, and I just don't feel like I can handle. I don't have the feel for the tools in my hands with gloves on, and I never wear eye protection. And you can't believe, the trash that was coming into my eyes. But here she is, and I'm feeling more and more confident. Big thing I see now is get these screws loose, disconnect it, and then remember how to. You can take this out, run down, get another, bring it in, you hook it up, and then you get it. Even if you put the wires exactly on the right spots, if you got this orientated differently, you might have a hell of a time trying to put it back in where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to make a mental note, and maybe I'll take pictures and draw posters so that when I go and put this all back together, it will slip right in like it's supposed to. Also, in the next, I'm going to tell you exactly what size little wrenches and whatnot I needed to get all these wires undone. I'm doing this by myself. I don't have the benefit of, saying, give me something that's a little smaller, give me something that's a little bigger. I got to keep crawling in and out, but I got all day, I'm retired. And it's not like I got to get this done so I can get to the job. And we get back, it's going to be a little bit. I'll go get another one today, and maybe I'll get this done today, maybe I won't. I don't have to hurry. That's the one nice thing about when you get to this point in your life. And, oh yeah, so far, a lot of the stuff I watched on YouTube made me want to give up before I even started. But, as my wife says, she says, you're stubborn. And you can get to where you just don't want to do it. But now that I'm at this point, it hasn't been that tough. No, not at all. And I wouldn't hesitate to do it again. And just keep that in mind. If you watch this video, you're going to know what to do. If you watched all the others and you haven't watched this, and then you get to this after you've done it, you're going to say, gee, I wish I saw this first. Okay, real simple and straightforward. You need an 8mm and a 13mm. That one right there. The big one is 13, and the little one is 8. So this whole job, you just need a 13 and an 8, for everything, the way it seems right now. And a jack and stuff like that. But yeah, she's going to be out. I think I'll be going down and hope they got a nice one, a nice expensive one, guaranteed for 100 years. I usually go to Advance Auto. All right. Well, she's out. I'm going to go down and get another one. And that's what it was all about. Just take those two up, a 13 and an 8. And then, where'd it go? Yeah, two 13mm screws. So 13, and 8mm. And there's one out of this here 59 Pontiac of mine. It's a backup spare. But if that big ass thing was up in there, I couldn't have never handled that. I'd have to have the car up on a lift and some help. I don't know how much this this thing here, I can play with this all day long. This, I can hardly get my hand around it. Oh shit, get it. Have to go and Have my arm reset. But they were in a much different position. You could get under there with 2 arms. I recently, changed these out, but I don't like it. Okay, just got back from the parts store. This one is the middle of the road, you might say. It is a lifetime guaranteed warranty, whatever you want to call it, $176. They had one that was, it's a remanufactured. They had one that was, I forget how much less, but it was a 1-year warranty. This is lifetime warranty. And then they had another one that was $225, $50 more, which was a lifetime warranty, brand new. And I thought about it, and I figured, what the heck? A lifetime warranty is a lifetime warranty. I'll save the $50. And the only thing I see different is this little gadget here. I don't know what it's for. Some kind of, I don't know. But this one here, it doesn't have that. And then this one here, you can see it's got the screws going through. But this one here doesn't, which to me, I don't know, might make this one be a little easier to put in. But the next step is about ready to take place, and I don't know what step, that number that is. I told you I'd forget. It's a new morning. Yeah. Are we there yet? Well, yeah, we're getting close. Note the position. Again, I've only got, the one hand, but, those tabs, make sure that they're where they should be. You don't want any of this stuff touching the other stuff. I know that's not a very good explanation, but that tab and that tab are in the right spot. So if you're doing the same job, make sure, you got it like that. Got it all cleaned up. 8mm, 13mm. Next task is to put these 2 in. And yeah, are we there yet? Get that in, and hopefully I'll turn the key and she'll go va-boom. All right, she's in. Now, what I did was, I've got this one started first, and once, they're still not all the way in, but they're biting, both are. Still got to be twisted in some more, but I got this one started first, and while I was doing that, I was using my little flashlight to make sure that the holes were lined up as close as I could get them lined up, along with using this Phillips head. Primarily, I had the Phillips head in this slot, getting this correct, and then while I was holding, holding this and this, the screwdriver in here, I kept, twisting around with the starter till it was straight, not cockeyed in there, but straight. And once it was straight, and then this was like working as a pilot, I got this one to bite, and once that one bit, and I got it in there enough, then I went immediately over to here and got this one in. So I'm just going to tighten these up now, and then put the battery cable back on, and turn the key, and hopefully be able to run down to that parts store and give them the core, and get that core refund. All right, we're going to find out if I was successful. I just hooked up the battery. There's nothing else I can do except maybe wash this truck. Let's see what happens.
Success. Success again.
It started, but you heard that hesitation. I don't know, but I'm going to shut it off, and then I'm going to turn it over one more time. It might have just been needed fuel, because, the thing's been up sideways.
Yeah. That sounds good. Sounds good.
I'm satisfied. Are you satisfied, Mr. Bobo? Oh, good.